And we are live. Hey everyone, Shareef here at SS Customs in beautiful Redwood City, California. Today I have a very special guest, all the way from Sweden. Right? We said that right? It's like make sure, not Sweden. So we have a guest from Sweden, and I'm going to get into all the details about him. But I'm also here with my
Your boy, AJ, you know.
co-host, AJ.
Yes, sir.
And again, Alex from Sweden.
Yeah.
And he's got a really special company that revolves around I guess you want to say started with the Tesla mark in terms of your product.
Yeah.
But it's he's created an awesome product, and it's high quality, is built for basically anybody who owns a Tesla EV, and I'm pretty sure there's more products that are coming down the line for him that he's going to get into, and it's all about quality, not quantity with this gentleman, and so much so that he's flown all over the world, and he's here today with us to get into a couple details. So, without further ado, I will introduce you to the man,
The myth.
maybe the myth, maybe the legend.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Yeah.
So, what is the name of your company, and tell us, when did you get started about,
Yeah, the company was formed in 2016, and it's called the new Aero, so Aero for aerodynamics. Yeah, but it started actually two years earlier when I got my first Tesla.
What year was that?
2014 in the spring. So yeah, I only had like BMWs and a Range Rover before. So my first EV was supposed to be a BMW i3, which I was interested in all the techs, and it has the carbon fiber body and stuff, quite complicated in manufacturing point of view. But yeah, the salespersons at BMW were really uninterested in selling the car, and just for fun,
What?
That's yeah,
crazy.
actually, I had to go like 2 hours because they only had it in the bigger cities in Sweden.
Uh-huh.
So I got a reservation to make a test drive, and when I came back from the test drive, I went to the reception and I gave them the keys, and they were just like, "Oh, thank you," and then they looked down at their laptop again, doing something important. I don't know. So I just stood there, and then we went back. Yeah, but just for fun, I had made a reservation to test drive a Tesla also, which was also only in Stockholm at that time. And that guy was really into the car, super enthusiastic guy. And the car cost maybe twice as much as the i3, but yeah, a week after the test drive, I had to order one.
Yeah, it made a big difference. That's crazy. I mean, the i3 is like, when it came out, have you ever been in the interior? It's like this kind of like weird type of carbon, but it's like shattered, but it's like eco-friendly, all put together, right?
Yeah, and also the full body is not made of steel. It's made of composite.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
there you go. That's the word I was looking for. It's that composite,
Yeah.
and it's all inside. The door panels, everything's kind of got a little bit of fuzz thing to it, but it's cool when you look at it. It's like pretty cool. But if they're not enthusiastic about selling a car, then
Yeah,
that's
I
another
mean,
story. You know what I mean?
It was my brand, BMW, so I was, loyal to the brand. That's why when they launched a EV, I wanted to have it. But yeah, they were not really into it, I guess.
See, and a lot of people hate on that car, but I like it. I like the design of it.
Yeah.
I like the tonality, the two-tone of it. When the
Yeah.
the back is black, then you have the colors on the side. They had really interesting lines on the doors, windowsills, like how it drops down and goes around. Like there was really cool like design cues in it. So
Yeah.
the fact
I
that
was
they were
interested.
just bored with it. it's just-
But I mean, the Model S is a different story, and compared to that, I think
Oh, yeah.
it doesn't have
I think
stand
it
a
was.
chance.
Getting a lot more
we're
performance,
spoiled
too.
here, right? Because we have the factory 20 minutes from here.
Yeah.
So they made majority of all, well, basically every Tesla unit that you see right now on the road, other than the new Gigafactory, all came out of here. So the first cars you see on the road, the first new models you see, the first this. So we're kind of spoiled from the Tesla experience and ownership.
Yeah.
You, on the other hand, are all the way on the other side
Yeah.
in Sweden, and you see a Tesla,
Yeah.
which, you know, I've never got to travel to that part of the world. So that first experience of being one of the first people out there to have one,
Yeah.
and it's on the road, how was your take on the Tesla, and what was the initial reaction when you were first driving it around out there?
Yeah. Most people actually knew about Tesla already then.
Uh-huh.
They were very fast, I think, expanding to Europe and delivering in Europe, because I think you had a few cars in 2012 here, but it couldn't be more than 20 cars or something. And then in 2013, they got delivered in more scale. And in the second half of 2013, they delivered a few cars to Europe, to Sweden, that I guess were reserved a long time ago. I know Christian von Koenigsegg got one of the first, and one of the guys from ABBA, the music group, and a few others, celebrities in Sweden. But they didn't have even, I think they didn't even have a facility in Sweden until in 2014, when they had like, it was only like in a mall, a small, it wasn't even a store, it was in the center of the mall, like a space with this fence around, and one car and one guy, and down in the parking lot they had a car for test drives. So that's where I ordered a car from.
They used to out here, they'd give tours of the factory, and then they would also have like test drives out there, and then there's just a long straight road beside the factory.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a big difference. Okay. So just in case, they would allow tours of the factory, and then alongside the factory there's a long straight road. And when I went and did my tour of the factory while working at Tesla, they were allowing people to do test drives of the car up along that long straight road, and they would let people just hammer it. So you just see the car and just take off, because it's just a flat area, but everybody got to experience like the 100D aspect. Well, I think back then it was just P90D when I started. But it was really cool. It was just fun seeing everybody get to test drive it. And it makes a difference. It makes you want the car.
Yeah, and the thing was, like you said, how people reacted, and I mean, already after a few days, I realized everything that everyone is questioning about this car is not true. So, because within, I think after 2 months from delivery, I took the family all the way down to Italy on a road trip, and they already then had all the superchargers up. So it was super easy. It didn't cost anything in fuel, and also I charged the car overnight at my house every day. So range was not an issue at all, and charging was free. So in the total cost of ownership of the car was actually one of the cheapest cars I owned.
Oh, we got a delivery.
That's not the Tesla, right?
No, it's not Tesla. And we'll be going to our commercial break now. And there we go. I got this for you, man. Come on. You gotta jam out.
We need to put a thing up that blocks it and see if they can guess what car it was just off of the
Off
engine
the
noise.
song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Off the engine noise, see if they can figure out what car it was.
No, that was one of our clients. She was picking up a G-Wagon that we just finished up, and a very specific, unique color. She was looking for the Hermes Birkin bag orange. There's various different ones, but we nailed the one that she wanted, and she's super excited, so she's taking that home right now. But yeah, this is how it is, man. We're grinding here. We're doing a podcast. We got deliveries going on in the background. It's a real place, okay?
Right.
But all right, cool. So that happens 2014. You're taking the car, you're driving it around.
Yeah.
And you've seen the supercharger. Now you're charging it at your house. You're actually starting to probably gain some brand loyalty towards this car.
Yeah.
say, okay, I'm falling in love with it or whatever have you. At what time, I know it was a few years later, what incited you to say, I'm going to do something for this brand and for the people of this brand?
Yeah, actually out of self-interest, but I
Of course, man.
so the first spring with the car, I got brand new Vossen wheels, large ones, like I've done before with the BMWs and stuff. And then I realized, I paid like 4K for these wheels, and they made the car go 15% shorter range. So when I bought the car, I paid like almost 20K extra to have the larger battery, and then I paid another 4K, and almost we're down to the smaller battery with the wheels, which I bought to make the car better, right? Mm-hmm. But in the absolute most important field or performance, it got much worse. So yeah, then I realized I need to look for other types of wheels that are more efficient. So I started researching what are the different fields or different parameters that will make the wheel more or less efficient. So it's about the rolling resistance, but it's mostly about the drag or the aerodynamic resistance.
So just to be clear, because we only spoke about the name of your company, we didn't even say what your product is or what you do. So is your company just straight wheels, or like can the people listening get more things from your company, or are you just straightly focused on
It's straight wheels, yeah.
straight wheels?
Yeah.
And is it Tesla only?
Yeah, so far actually it works also on the Lucid Air.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, because they share the same bolt pattern and ET and center bore and everything.
I had no clue.
For
That's
some
wild.
reason they yeah, but they have the old head of engineering, right? Who went on and founded
On the battery
Lucid,
side.
or actually were employed by, I think it was called Arriva or something in the beginning before they renamed it.
So is it easy to expand to other vehicles to just change a bolt pattern?
Yeah,
or is there more to
no, it's not that easy. Actually, most EVs have very flat wheels, very high ETs. So like positive ET of like 50, 60. For example, Porsche Taycan has 54 and 60. Mm-hmm. So, and also the Polestar has very flat wheels. So you can't really do anything in the depth of the wheel.
I've noticed that a lot with a lot of the more modern cars, especially EVs. Is like you want to like do some traditional wheel setup, deep dish, this, that. You can't.
Yeah.
You don't have the space where the hubs.
Or
sits
they
anymore.
will stick out
Yeah.
really a lot.
You want that old school hot rod style, just tires sticking out there.
See, this is where you go to form over function, just wide body the car, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my God. here
Start
we go.
getting in your deep dish, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to eat out that.
No, I don't think so. It's not gonna work. In this case, we got with his product. You nailed both. You ended up getting a really cool design, which is a byproduct of making it functional.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. First thing, I actually just sent out a bunch of emails to different wheel companies in Europe, and I collected a few pictures of some old Aero wheels from like touring cars, like race
Incoming
touring
delivery.
cars.
Oh, Tiago. Thank you very much. We got Starbucks over here.
Thank you.
Sorry, man. It is late. It is Friday. We've been grinding all week.
We promise it's not a paid sponsor.
No, it's not. And we
Thank
just
you,
needed
brother.
some coffee. So I got my drink. They got theirs. Are you guys happy campers now?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, great.
I needed
Yeah.
something after this morning, man. Like, it's been a heck of a day.
Thank you, Tiago. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I just flew in yesterday, and it's we are 9 hours ahead. So now it's like 3 in the night
Oh,
in
wow.
Sweden. So that's
Yeah.
where my body's at.
It definitely explains why you needed some coffee. For
Considering
sure.
that, I'm quite, yeah.
Yeah, last night you had a little bit of you were hanging out too, right?
Yeah, with John from the Silicon Valley Club.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
also a long night. You know,
Yeah,
and-
but I tried then to push my clock a bit to stay up a bit late because I woke up at 3 and then at 4 and then at 5 and then I couldn't go back to sleep. But then I waited for the breakfast to start at the hotel. Yeah,
There we
but
go.
anyway, yeah, I emailed all these companies, but no one was really interested. I got some pictures of, for example, the Aerotiform was quite young then, I think. I found someone with a i8 down in LA that had Aerotiforms, and also some other European brands that had similar wheels. And I said, yeah, you should make this type of wheel covered, just leave ventilation for the brakes, and just try to play with that design and make something because I mean, since I had the Model S, I immediately felt that this car is superior in so many ways to all the combustion engine cars. But I guess you have to drive it to be convinced of that, because everyone was so skeptic about this car for so many years. A car that they probably never even had seen, maybe even had ridden in.
Yeah,
and they know
absolutely.
everything about how bad it is
The
in so
early
many
days
ways.
of Tesla, especially growing up here with Tesla here, seeing every iteration come out, like it comes out, and then the buzz in the area. It's Silicon Valley, right? So everybody's talking.
Yeah,
And then you see the buzz of the world with everybody else saying, "Oh, the last American car company that was successful was Jeep, I want to say, right? That actually survived as a brand. Any company that came after that, and I could be wrong with this, but that was, from what I understand, the last company. And every company that came after that was always had a problem in terms of they would start up and then die, start up and then die. So after so much time has passed, people are like, it's not possible to create a new automotive brand anymore and have it last and be sustainable. It's too hard. You got to build a factory, blah, 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 right? And then came along Tesla.
Revolutionized the
Completely
industry.
revolutionized.
yeah,
And a huge part of why it worked was that, he completely went a different route. And the team that was there at that time were visioning for a new future with a new way of driving vehicles in a new way, right, in terms of modern. And I think that was one of the factors of being so polarizing that it survived and thrived. And every single car that came out, it's never going to work. This is it. They're going to die.
Yeah.
This car's the end of them, right? And then they would come out with another one, and another one. And the 3 was, I think, the one they said, if they can knock the 3 out the park and they can make it work, this is the make it or break it car for them. Because if it fails, this is for the mass public.
I love the video that has all the different owners or bosses or CEOs or whatnot of all the manufacturers just being like, we would never make an EV. We would never. It's not the American way. It's not the this way. It's all about the power.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that tune changed pretty quick, man. So
Look at them all now.
yeah.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, it ended up the 3 obviously killed it in sales, and Tesla's here today, and we're waiting for our
Cybertruck.
truck eventually
Yeah.
at some point in time.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I want the ATV. The one little thing that they pulled out with the truck during the
Yeah,
debut. They had
yeah.
the little cyber ATV.
Yeah, they
with
made
it.
a small one.
Oh, it comes with it.
They have a kids toy that they sell already, but it's like it's
A couple
over
grand.
2,000.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so
a
it's
couple
an
grand.
expensive kids toy.
I
Yeah.
went like
But,
the four-wheeler.
They
Yeah.
have the adult size version of that was on the
Oh.
back of the Cybertruck.
Yeah.
Which, from what I've heard from the people who work at Tesla, will be an option when you finally get to order your truck. So you'd be like,
Okay.
hey, do you want the ATV or not? And then
I'll pay you the extra money just to add that to yours, and I'll take that.
obviously I'm gonna get the ATV. If there's a quantity one, I'll do 2. Okay? But yeah, man, there's that. So it's been I guess the early days for you and Tesla was pretty cool in terms of journey, experiencing something that not a lot of people were probably experiencing right away.
Yeah.
You got to be one of the earlier adopters. And it was in a weird circumstance of walking away from BMW to go that way.
Yeah.
And then your wheel design, right? You were like, okay, cool. And his wheel design is it's cool because it's got this old school kind of like turbo fan style look to it. And I've always liked that look to it, but it's the efficiency of it is what I think what really makes it work, and the fact that it's a really cool design.
Well, we'll put a picture of it here.
Yeah, well, obviously in this video, I'm sure Rob's gonna, overlay it so you guys can see it on the in the video.
Well, on that, when it comes to wheels, the fuller the face, the more luxurious the wheel looks. Which is why when you'll see a lot of Maybach, Mercedes, and whatnot, when they still do a bunch of custom
Rolls.
Rolls Royce, perfect one.
Bentley.
They'll put very big, full faces with no gaps, or if they do have gaps, they're very thin gaps on a lot of things. So what's cool is that because of the function of it, you're also getting a kickback on the form side, because the fuller the face and the more reflective the material, the more luxurious it looks. So if you put something like that and like hypothetically black chrome,
yeah, it actually makes a lot of sense, because the closed wheel is much quieter also, and silence is luxury. So Rolls Royce, they want it.
There was the design sense, and along with the functionality sense. That's pretty cool, man, to see it all kind of come together like that, full circle. Now with the wheel, a question I always had with the wheels, you have a wheel that's, I'm assuming, more material, so heavier.
Yeah.
Right? So the wheel's heavier, but it's still, because of the function of it and the aero portion of it, it's still, even though you have more rotating mass, you still get longer range.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's actually it's about the same weight as the Tesla wheel in the same size.
Oh wow.
Yeah, at least the forged ones, the bigger ones for the bigger cars. But yeah, there are much lighter wheels in the aftermarket business. But many who order really expensive forged wheels, they experience higher consumption because of the aero efficiency. That, yeah.
How many colors do you offer?
Now we have 3 colors, I think. Yeah. But we also made a few one-off colors. Yeah.
Are you gonna?
If you pay extra.
I was gonna say, are you gonna jump down the hole of allowing people to do customization? Like, at some point in time, could I get like a rose gold face of your wheel?
Yeah. I mean, we can make it. Yeah, it's just like $1,000 extra, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I made for my car. I stripped the paint and polished the wheels, and put on a clear coat with a black tint in the clear coat. So it's like
I like that.
It's like a mirror, but very dark.
Yeah. We used to do things like that. So that's how we tint taillights where I'm from. We'll do black paint and clear coat, mix them together, and then paint the taillights.
Yeah, they do that here too. It was more like a body shop thing. So if you were are you gonna make the wheel for the Cybertruck? Because you already make it for the other 3. As I was going through your website in the early on days, I was like, okay, cool. Oh, they have it for the 3, the X, the Y, the S. So I've seen all the image galleries of all the different car models.
Yeah, I think we have to simulate the efficiency and see how it works. The truck is a different type of body, and the wheels are really much more in the air and unpreventably, at least under a car. I don't know. I guess it will have air suspension, so if it's on the freeway, it can go down quite low. Yeah.
That's a big truck too.
Yeah, it is, and it's got more. So the initial renders have like the tankish looking wheels, but then a lot of the wheel cars that you see around there are more like a multi 5-spoke now. So what it's going to be, I don't know exactly.
Yeah, I wonder how it would look with more like road tires, because all of the prototypes have more mud tires. But I guess very few of the owners will actually want that type of. I guess it will make a lot of noise and have bad grip on regular roads. So they want probably, and when they want to rate the car, the range, they need efficient tires, so they need road tires. So we still didn't see it with those tires, or maybe the latest prototype had something like that.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna have a lot of fun doing designs on that for our shop car and tons of clients. It's just it's like a canvas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Only comes in one finish, and so people are gonna be like, I don't want to look like every other one. They're all gonna start changing them, and I'm sure wheels are gonna be a conversation
Yeah.
piece.
It'd be really fun from your side of the business because they're so flat. Because they're so flat, it's kind of like an open mural. So not just a canvas, but like you can do a lot of flat work on it that I don't think you could do on like some vehicles, just because you have to worry about the curves and crevices of cars, kind of like distorting the image. But that's just pure flat. So I think it'd be really cool to do like almost like mural projects on them.
Yeah.
There's going to be just wild things that people are going to be wanting to do. I've been itching for a while now, ever since it came out, released it. Actually, ever since I saw that, hey, we're going to make a Cybertruck, and on the screen it pops up and you just see the light bar. And I was like, oh, they're going to make a truck now. And I was like, and because they said, you know, what did it say? Cyberpunk. And all you saw was a light, like a light bar in that presentation. I can't remember what car they were releasing. Maybe it was a semi-truck or something like that. And I was just juiced. And I was like, okay. Ever since then, I'm like, well, how am I going to design it? How am I going to design it?
Terminator.
Yeah. Well, when I saw the truck launch, I'm like, okay, this is not exactly what I thought it was going to be, but I can make something work. And then as time went on, just all these ideas started rushing through my mind. So it'll be exciting, and I'm sure he's going to have fun making wheels and seeing him drive on. It's so polarizing seeing something like that drive around Sweden, just this big, like, reflective thing.
Everywhere.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, I
really
didn't
cool.
like it the first time I saw it in the presentation. But then already the day after, I started.
Started to lean more
Yeah,
into it.
I couldn't. Yeah, you can't let it go. Right?
You can't stop thinking about it. You're
Yeah.
like, what the hell did I just see? You know what I mean? The more you think about it. I guess for marketing reasons, it was ingenious. I have never seen anybody ever, from my recollection, talk about a car so much on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Like, okay, a new Ferrari comes out, a new Porsche comes out, new this, new that, right? It's very rare to see a car company release a car that the news networks that every single person is talking about, right?
Yeah.
They broke the window and this happened, and you know, and all those things.
That had to be so embarrassing, man.
It was, but damn, did it make for good media?
Yeah, it did.
So everybody was talking about that thing.
So before, were you into cars? And like, I know you said you owned a BMW, but like, were you a part of like the car community before you started going off into your ventures?
Yeah, probably since I got the driver's license, I had quite different cars. My first car was a BMW Alpina B10. I don't know if you know this. It's actually a separate car manufacturer, or they have this license in Germany. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, American cars have them with the Shelbys and the this
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that,
it
right?
also.
So,
Yeah.
But they do a little different out there. Alpina always makes beautiful cars.
We have some Alpinas here too, right?
Oh no, you
Yeah,
can buy Alpinas here.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it had these stripes, and in the seats it had this also like dotted stripes with green and blue, I think.
So were you
It's a
more form or
Recaro.
function?
Yeah, I liked the whole concept that these guys, or the Boffensiepen family that owns the brand, they modify everything a little bit. So they change the wheels, they change the engine, they change the interior, and it's a very reliable car. Also, they put it together there in the factory by hand. So I had it for quite a few years, and I never had any problem with it.
So were you into car customization?
I didn't. I actually changed the stereo system in this car, but otherwise it was good. I probably regret destroying this masterpiece.
Yeah.
And now, when I'm a bit older, I would be really not enthusiastic about buying this car from a young guy who like took out this stereo and put in some shit that didn't match.
What happened to the deck?
Now I'm more at the deck has to match the car design.
That's growing up and turning into a collector.
Because
right
now
there.
it was all bunch of LED lights flashing back and forth, you know, almost like this.
Yeah, I know, right?
It
Like my
didn't fit
soundboard.
into that car, but yeah.
See,
that's
you'd
what
hate
we
my
did.
car. I'm ripping out the whole back seats just to put a stereo there.
Yeah, but maybe it was a stock car from the beginning, so it was
Yeah.
not this, you know, yeah, perfected car by some German firm.
Yeah.
Excuse me real quick.
So, what is the car scene over in Sweden like?
Yeah, I guess we were a bunch of young guys and meeting up like Saturday nights at the big parking lot, going around looking at the other cars, and sometimes there were also some street racing going on.
Yeah.
You know. I guess I think it was before the first Fast and the Furious movie. I don't know when it came out.
Yeah.
You know?
I have no idea.
This was in probably 2001 or 2001,
Okay.
yeah.
So when'd you come over here?
What do you mean?
When'd you come to visit the U.S. for the first time?
For the first time in my life?
Yeah.
Yesterday.
No, I was with my family when I was like 16. We were visiting the Boeing factory. First time I visited the U.S. So we were actually in Canada, in Vancouver,
Okay.
visiting some friends, and then I went on to, because me and my brother really wanted to see the Boeing factory. The largest building in the world or something like that.
Oh, yeah. No, that's fun.
I mean, there's so many experiences you have to have, right?
Yeah.
And that's what one of the things I would like. I just came back I went for the past 2 years to the Maldives. And
Yeah.
one thing I noticed is,
That's quite far from here.
yeah.
Yeah,
well,
my
it's-
brother is there right now, actually.
That's
Oh,
what I was
now
going to
he
ask
went-
you, is that I've noticed that at least half, if not more, of the people that are visiting the resort that I was at
Yeah.
were from Sweden.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's where everyone wants to go. Take
Yeah.
the pictures for Instagram, you know.
Yeah, dude. But it's unusually high for me being a second timer now, that at least 50%, if not more, of the visitors there are from Sweden.
Yeah.
And it was just a
Yeah, I
trip. I was
believe
like,
you.
why are there so many Swedish people here? But I guess it's one of your guys' favorite destinations.
It's
So.
like us in Hawaii.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's like a back door.
Yeah,
and it's
maybe
five
probably
hours.
they also have charter flights there now, so that's what brings more volume
Mhm.
than if you have to go with the regular flights and like via Dubai or something. Takes more time.
I know.
But if it's all inclusive, everyone feels comfortable going.
Oh yeah, for sure. So
Yeah.
you came here to just kind of visit and check out the big building and the Boeing building and just for fun.
Yeah, back then, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in Canada, but anyway. Yeah, then I've been a few times in Florida, which is, the closest hot place to Sweden, or warm weather in America.
So do you get many chances to experience like the car culture over here?
Only later on with the wheel company, with the Tesla clubs. Yeah.
What was your experiences over here?
Yeah, I've also been to some of the meetings in Europe, and it's a little bit different here. It's more like you meet at one place, everyone has their car, and then you just hang out and talk for hours.
Here or
But here.
Yeah.
And in Europe, they have more of a schedule or much more planning, and it's like
More like a
this
drive?
time we go there and take pictures. Now we go and eat lunch here, and we booked all these hotel rooms. And yeah, last time when I met John the first time in Austria, they even had this shuttle back and forth to the supercharger from the hotel. So if you went and put your car on charge, they pick you up with another car back to the hotel, and then you pick the next shuttle back and get your car. So
That's structured.
very structured.
That's structured.
It's a German way, but in Austria then. Yeah. In Sweden, I've been to a few meetings, but there are a few different clubs, and they are quite scattered. It's not centered in different cities, which would be the natural way. So yeah, I think they need to mature a bit, the clubs in Sweden, in this sense. They have this. I think one is called West Sweden, but it has members all over Sweden anyway, and one is called South Sweden, also has members all over. And then when you have different events, it's too far for many people, so they will not come. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine how it would be like. But the only way to actually know is to actually go there and visit. So we're gonna have to make some time there. And had some friends move there recently, and our
To
shop is
Sweden?
I had one of my, and also there's some people that do what we do over there. So we've done. We're part of our shop's part of organizations, a collective of some of the most, some of the best shops like this around the world.
Okay.
There's it's called Paint is Dead, and there's we have some members that are in from that part of the world, Denmark as well, as well as Australia, New Zealand, Japan, United States, everywhere else. And so it's really cool to see everybody come together. We did a podcast recently with a bunch of people, some of them in that group and some of them outside, but all around the world, in Vegas at SEMA recently. So that was really fun. But
so you have a community as well.
oh yeah, we you have to be enthralled in this kind of automotive community, but it's cool, and it makes it really cool because when I do get to go to and visit your part of the world, then it's real easy. It's like, hey, I come over there, but like, let me check out your digs now, and then we can get to see your guys' ops, visit friends there, and then also do the touristy thing. So. But that's all part of our journey. I think this year we're going to Japan for Tokyo Auto Salon. So this coming year.
Next year, yeah. So let's just
so-
extend the trip and then just kind of hop up and say what's up.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
there's
I want to
so
go
much-
to Japan. I've never been to Japan,
Yeah.
but we sell some wheels there.
2024, let's go.
Yeah.
Tokyo
Yeah,
Auto
is it,
Salon would be kind of cool for you guys to have a setup there.
Is it like so? It's not just OEMs; it's also aftermarket.
Yeah,
I guess because
yeah,
the
the Tokyo,
Japanese
of
love
course.
aftermarket.
They love their aftermarket stuff, and they love culture.
Yeah.
They love other cultures, so they have a deep embodiment of that as well as their own. So having your guys' stuff there would be kind of cool. I'm sure the Tesla culture is wild.
Yeah,
and their
yeah.
mod scene is crazy. So it'll be cool. I know he's juiced to go, so it'll be fun, and we're looking forward to exploring that. But that's something I would look into if I use just Tokyo Auto Salon, and see if okay, it's like a Tokyo version of SEMA and with more mod, aftermarket. See how that works out for you. Maybe you could pivot there.
Yeah,
and, have some fun at the
maybe
same
that's
time.
even more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never been to SEMA, but is it a lot of aftermarket
SEMA is
for cars, or is it more
massive.
trucks, or both? I guess?
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. It's just SEMA is like the largest in the United States. I think it's the second largest trade show in Las Vegas. And Las Vegas is like the trade show hub of the world.
yeah.
I mean, or at least for America. So everybody comes there. And I want to say SEMA is the second largest one, and it's private at that.
Yeah.
So you have to be in the industry to even attend, and it's still the second largest. So if it was open to everybody, I can only imagine what would happen there. But everybody wants to go see the cool cars and visit everything that's going on and meet the vendors, and you can walk in and meet the founder of a company, like a wheel company, like yours.
Yeah.
And you just walk in and be like, oh, meet this guy, meet that guy, because you're a business owner or you're in the industry talking to other people in the industry. So it's a B2B trade show, right?
Yeah.
But that's really cool. That's something I would look into and explore if I were you too.
Yeah. Sure.
You said in 2016 the wheel company,
Yeah.
Aero, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's go back to,
Okay.
to the wheels now. Yeah, so a year passed since I tried to convince wheel companies to make a wheel especially for EVs, and no one was interested. And then I met this a friend of a friend at the midsummer party in Sweden, and I started talking to him a bit, and he said he worked at Scania. It's a truck factory in Sweden, and he was then at that point working at designing the air intake for the engine. So it was in aerodynamics, in the field of aerodynamics. And then I discussed this idea about making a dedicated EV Aero wheel. And we started making a few like renderings and not only renderings but CAD drawings of wheels. And we made some simple simulations, and we found out that making it efficient, it's not super hard, but it's the design that's the hard part, because everyone will think of a covered wheel or a closed wheel like something very different from what they are used to seeing, because the latest 20 years it's been all about spoked, very lightweight wheels, maybe a bit concave. So going from this to a very covered wheel, it's a step for the consumer then. They will not immediately buy this because they don't want it to look weird or anything.
Well, now's a better time than ever, right? Because I mean, like things like the Aero disc are blown up. HRE has some full price ones that are
it's coming more and more, and I knew already then that Rotiform had reintroduced this style a bit. And here in California, we're also a very style-sensitive place, I guess, where much influence comes from to the rest of the world. So we made renderings, and we put them out on all the Tesla forums I could find. We had one in Sweden, there was a German-speaking forum, and also the TMC, I think. And I said, we plan to do this. What do you think of this design? What do you think of this design? And then we picked up the third guy from this discussion because he didn't really like any of the designs, and he said, I have a few designs that I made just from like photoshopping different elements from different wheels into and also like light designing of wheels. He didn't want to show them, but he said yours are not good enough, and I also felt that they were not really that beautiful that I imagined them to be. So from having them in my mind to putting them on in a CAD drawing and making a rendering, they didn't look as good as I hoped they would. So I called up this guy and we talked, and then he flew into Sweden, and we had dinner, and he showed his designs, and then we formed a company officially, like incorporate the company with the three of us as co-owners and co-founders. And from that point we made, like, I think we had 3 or 4 different designs. It's the one that we later launched that we have now, but the other ones are quite different actually, but they all have the ventilation around the edge and the rest is closed. That's the thing they have in common. And we show them to selected number of Tesla owners, like in closed rooms. We didn't want to publish them because we also then discovered that if since we done before, we published designs on the forum, and then you can't protect the design because it's already official. If you publish a picture, then you can't make a design patent of that.
What?
So, no.
Wait a minute. So hold on 1 second. So if you post something,
before
like
it's protected with a design patent, then it's considered common knowledge. So then you just shared it with the world for free, and you can't.
You hear that, world? Don't share your ideas till they're patented.
If they're good enough, you can't show them to. You have to show them to in closed rooms, and you have to get NDAs,
sign waivers and NDAs.
So that's when we went into a bit of a stealth mode from that point, and
well,
also
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Then the problem was how to make like prototypes. So
that's what I was going to ask you next.
So we made a few 3D printed prototypes, like yeah, they had to print in parts and glue together, and then we found you could also make like milled prototypes out of a plastic solid blank. So you have a flat disc of plastic material, and then you mill it like you mill wheels, basically. And those were much better finished than the 3D printed. So we made a few of those, and then we could like put them inside the tire, and you could jack up one wheel, or if you jack on the suspension and remove the original wheel, you can put this wheel in the car and make pictures. And it looks, and the suspension and everything looks like it should be. So that's the next step, I guess. If we were a bigger company, we would just mill proper prototypes that were drivable, but we didn't have the budget for that. Yeah, then was next problem to find anyone who wanted to manufacture like 100 wheels for a brand new company that only had like 100 questions, also more questions than wheels, because we didn't really know anything about wheel manufacturing and about that industry and about all the different quality certifications that the factories can have and so on.
TUV and all the other
Yeah,
stuff like
exactly.
That, yeah.
So
See, and that speaks to entrepreneurship. Like you don't have to know what you're doing. Just go do it, and you can figure it out as you go.
Yeah,
Like,
other people know everything you need to know,
exactly,
so you have to ask them.
So it's like that's one thing that I love about listening to an entrepreneur story. It's always because everybody's like, you need to know what you're gonna do, you need to know all these things, but it's like you don't. Like with entrepreneurship, every entrepreneur says like, I didn't know shit, just I got up and did it. That's the difference. It's
But you have to know what questions to ask. Basically, you have to be good at asking questions and imagine what you could possibly have missed everything, because they are in the industry, and they assume that you know most things that they know, or since they have, when you know something, you assume that other people also know it, basically.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
So some things we had to learn the hard way by making a mistake, and then because, for example, the first 100 meals, the wheels were all, we thought we could make a square set for all the Model S cars, but then we found out that some of them only have a staggered set in the papers, and then we couldn't sell them to the German customers, and actually there were no tires in that specific size that had the correct load rating for the rear axle for some of the heavier Model S cars that has I think it has to do if they have the glass roof or the standard roof, stuff like that. So then we had to middle another 50 wheels.
Yep. So you
and
learned which questions to ask
more,
through trial and error. Exactly.
Yeah, that we should probably have asked, but we didn't really think about asking that.
You don't know what you don't know.
Absolutely. I don't think anybody ever sets out to be like, I'm doing this, I want to be an entrepreneur. You have an idea, you have this itch, you have to execute. There's something telling you that you have to try something. There's this ambition that you have inside of you, and you do it. And if you end up getting far or executing or doing something because you're so focused, your mind is wrapped around this idea, and you just want to figure out how to do it. Once you do it, and you actually have some success to it, if you end up being, lucky enough to be one of those, and you just keep repeating the process, sooner or later, somebody will come along, and you'll hear that word entrepreneur, and you're like, I never even knew that. That was something that would have stuck to me. But your initial, I think the vast majority of people who ever do something where they're more so chasing an idea, and they're like trying to make it happen.
Or even more so, solving a problem.
Solving a problem.
That's a huge one. Like Virgin Airlines. The owner of that got stuck on an island somewhere.
Almost everything is solving a problem.
And
when it comes
pulled
to
a bunch of people together. Yeah. It's really
cool.
cool.
That was a cool story too.
Yeah.
And yours is like the same thing. You got a problem, you want to create something, and and you're facing multiple problems and all these questions you don't know about, but the desire to make sure that it happens. Big.
I couldn't understand why nobody had done it already done it, and I thought someone probably had. I just haven't found them yet, so I googled and googled and googled.
Couldn't find it.
Yeah, because many times when you think you have a good idea and then you think nobody done it, and then you just didn't have the proper words to search for that specific. Maybe it wasn't called exactly what you thought it was called, and so.
So geographically speaking, where is your highest demand for your product currently? So like where do you sell the most?
We sell the most in Germany.
Germany?
And I think it's they value the car quite high in Germany. Most people have a personal mechanic, or they have a certain person that takes care of their car, like in a personal relationship almost. Nice. And you know, they have the unlimited autobahns, so they drive fast, continuous.
I still got to do that sooner.
I can't wait.
And they are the ones who benefit the most from the Aero wheel, because the faster you go, the more you save. Actually, the more difference you get from the different wheels.
Yeah.
Because
that's when it starts really making a
the drag
difference.
coefficient, or the drag is expanding by the square of the speed. So if you go twice as fast, you get 4 times the Aero drag. But the rolling resistance is always the same, so that's just a linear, yeah.
That's why I call good function. The faster you go, the more I get out of it.
Yeah. So those are actually they have the most potential in our wheel.
That's
I
good.
mean, if you
It's like a
go,
spooled turbo.
they usually go. I think many of them go 160 probably, where it's unlimited. And if you drive a Tesla in 160, it's a massive difference between 110. Now I'm talking kilometers per hour, so you don't understand what I'm saying. But
You know us, we do
I don't know
everything
what's,
backwards.
Yeah,
right?
160 it's like 100 miles per hour, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
We don't need no autobahn to go 100 miles an hour over here. We do that on the daily going to work.
Yeah, and actually, so everyone.
Mexico.
The most common objection we get is about the weight, that they found much lighter wheels, and it's actually, you can easily compare to if you have, for example, my son is like 8 years old, and he weighs like, now I'm in kilograms here, but yeah, you know how much a 8-year-old weighs.
Yeah.
Not much, and when he's in the car, I would not see any difference in consumption. But if I have like a roof box on top of
Big
the car,
time.
which also weighs like the same as my son, I get a massive difference in range, like 15 or 20% actually.
Holy crap!
So
that's big.
yeah, so it's not weight that is the issue, and you can also see the difference between the standard range, or is standard range, and the long range car it's virtually the same consumption per mile, and the weight difference is a lot in the battery. It's like 2 adults or something. Yeah.
So it sounds like you put us 3 in a car, put a box on top, and then put Boston wheels on it. We're only making it down the block.
Yeah.
Maybe,
No, so I
Or
mean the
any
wheel, the
brand for
mass
that matter.
is you can get a bit better like comfort in suspension if you have really light wheels, and also in acceleration when you have maximum like power output. You get a little bit different in acceleration, but if you go constant speed, it doesn't matter if the weight is in the wheel or in the car.
If yours has a very specific benefit and function, and it really helps with people who have range anxiety and all the other things, because you're maximizing what you can based off the aerodynamics of the car. It's not like you're putting these wheels on your car to go to the racetrack and race.
No.
It's you're doing it for a specific function and range, so that works. And like when you were talking about the wheel and 3D printing and putting it all together, and then coming up with 50 more prototypes after that, after you did all this one and kept releasing it. A lot of wheel companies that we know, their manufacturing process, once they go with the ultimate goal of, okay, now we're in the manufacturing stage, we're going for it. They get it manufactured. Generally, somewhere overseas from if they're an American wheel company or whatever, you obviously had that same option, right? But from what I hear, your wheels are manufactured not with the quality, the quantity in mind, but definitely much more of a quality.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So what
we
made
had,
you make that decision as someone who's doing what you do for wheels, first time ever doing it? You could go the route of, I get the best bang for my buck, you know, but you went out the gates going a different direction than the vast majority of people, which is going for the, you know. I'll let you talk about that.
Yeah, first of all, the factory has to have all the quality management systems that is required by the German TÜV. So that leaves out a lot of wheel factories in Asia. I mean, we reached out to a few and asked, but they always avoided answering that question. I mean, so we had a few in Europe. We had one in Great Britain and one in Italy that we had to choose between. But the Italian one was really outstanding because it was family owned, which is I don't know any other wheel company that makes cast wheels that is still owned by the same family that founded it. They are all part of enormous conglomerates or partly owned by OEMs and really, really efficient and really, really high volume. But this one in northern Italy, close to Milano, they started in the 70s or in the 60s, I think, making alloy wheels. They made engine parts and stuff for Maserati and Fiat before they changed and focused on making alloy wheels. So for a while they made a lot of wheels for the Formula One, for example, in magnesium, and they even had their own Formula One team for I think 2 seasons. They did not make any good positions, but very ambitious of a wheel factory owned by one family to have their own Formula One team. Later they were actually part owner of the Minardi team, which is, I think, still existing and was quite big at that time. And also in this industry, they had 2 wind tunnels to test out aerodynamics that they owned. So they were also very understanding of our aspect of aerodynamics in the wheels. And when we first came there, the owner was really into the product.
So how many wheels do you have right now? Do you have one wheel or do you have multiple?
Yeah, we have one design, but we have all the sizes for all the different Tesla
all 4
cars.
units.
Yeah.
So how long until you?
But we also have we have a second design. It's finished, and we showed it.
Post a picture.
It's on. we can. I can send it to you. And you put it
as long as
it's in the new brochure on the backside. Actually, it's laying it down.
Nice.
So new one's coming out soon. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually finished, but it's made out of 2 materials. So it's a spoked wheel, a 10-spoke wheel, which is to make it very lightweight. But over the spokes, partly over the spokes are partly visible. Is
it's like an Aero disc almost.
Yeah, it's a carbon fiber disc that is attached with a number of screws from the backside. So it's not removable. It's supposed to be there. The design is made to have the 2 materials blend together. It's not supposed to come off.
Very cool.
Yeah. So we got actually some help from Koenigsegg to make this construction because
It's a big name drop.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Christian was a customer of our current wheel design.
Yeah.
He is a big Tesla fan, and I think he got one of the first Model S, I think I said before here, and then he also had the second Model S and a Model 3, and now he has the Plaid and still the Model 3, I think.
See, that says something.
I presented this idea of making a 2-material wheel to him, and asked some things about the attachment, and then he said, send it here. My engineers can have a look, and we can have a meeting in a few weeks. And then we had a meeting, and they presented the different ways to attach the disc to the wheel.
And then obviously he gets a wheel, right? He gets
yeah,
a set.
sure. Sure, he will get.
He comes out to
they,
Monterey Car Week all
They
the
are
time.
one of the 2 companies that may produce the disc actually for us, because they produce carbon. Maybe you've seen they produce some for unplugged performance, some wings and stuff. So they have a factory in Spain that makes carbon parts, and the other one factory that is looking at it is also actually a supplier for Koenigsegg and made the Agera full carbon wheels, for example.
Nice.
So they also know what they're doing.
Christian always comes out every year to Monterey Car Week.
I've seen it.
This past year, he had his booth was like right next to ours, or like one over next to ours.
Oh, you were there.
We were at Exotics on Broadway. We're gonna be there. We go there every year since it started.
Cool.
And he comes out every year, brings out something crazy, Regera, this, that, whatever. And so he'll be out there again this year, I'm sure, at multiple events. And we'll probably bump into him again. Actually, we have one of last year. My wife Mickey had walked up to him when he was at the booth next to ours and just said, "Hey, we're here, we're right there," and then he signed a bunch of stuff for us. So
He's
she
very
has
nice.
someone in the office. He's such a cool guy.
Yeah,
But,
I know we actually met him when first time I was like 16 or something. One of like a car meeting for mostly young people in Sweden, and he came there and showed the latest prototype. This was before they made the first production car, and he asked me and some friends, "What do you think about the car design?" And So that's really, why would he ask a bunch of teenagers about the car design? But he did.
Because y'all are the future. Yeah, teenagers are always the future, and it's crazy to think that too. Because like he leads the hypercar industry.
But he struggled for
who
many
creates-
years. I mean, it was.
Everybody
but then
who
again, he
creates
had
hypercars stare at
almost
him.
impossible goal to make the most extreme production car. So.
That's another one that's on the dream list, man. Get a Koenigsegg. That's wild. That's cool. That's a blessing to have his touch too. Like this, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's probably thanks to that we're both Swedish.
There you go.
It's not a big country, but yeah.
So what's been through all of your experiences with the wheel company, whether it be starting the company, whether it be anything in design process, people you've spoken to, what's been your favorite experience about just all of it? Like what's one thing that you're like, man, like this was, it's turned into a core memory. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, probably the first time I saw our wheels on the car, just randomly, someone I didn't know. Of course, where I live, there are a few friends or friends of friends that I saw wheels to, but those doesn't count. But last time I was in Germany, just at a random place that had nothing to do with Tesla, or it was not a supercharger or anything. Was a Model Y with our wheels, and the guy just jumped out and we said, "Oh, those are our wheels that we designed the wheels." So that's I realized.
Crazy.
I mean, maybe in like
another country,
20, 30 wheels. 20, 30 years, I will see maybe a classic Model S with our wheels, some really enthusiast guy.
Man, it's like a BBS style, you
that-
know what I mean? Just get that vibe, right? That's crazy,
yeah,
man.
That's amazing
Oh,
to
yeah.
see the result. Yeah,
See,
and
and that's
someone
something that's-
enjoying it.
That's awesome.
That's a
When-
unique experience because like we can see cars daily that that we've wrapped or something around here, but we can't usually go to another country and just be like,
Yeah, and then you probably wouldn't know if it was your rap, right?
well, I don't know. I
Do you
feel like they would
remember
all
every
recognize
car?
it. He might, for sure.
Yeah, man, it's
His memory's crazy.
yeah. Which one was this? Nah, man, it's to see that all kind of come around full circle with you in the car. Like growing up, enthusiast, got my first car, can wait to get my license, driving your car, growing up, meeting Christian before he even made his car, all the way through all your experiences of Alpinas and BMWs and everything else, to where you're at today, where you're in the new age of cars, I guess you could say, with the EV movement, and now producing products for other enthusiasts, where people want function and form rolled into one at a high quality bar, where you have Italian designs. I mean, you basically made a form and function wheel, Italian made, and you're selling it out there, and it's all over the world. Kudos to you, man.
Thank you.
Major props, brother.
Now it's a lot about logistics, actually. Getting the wheels to everywhere in the world. So
we heard about it through
That's
John.
what-
You know, and then John was like this. That's why we were like, okay, we got to have at least one on display. And we have a big event coming back up with John here at our studio. We're going to have a bunch of select cars. So now we need to make more of a rolled out impact. And it's really good to have one of the founders and the main, the face behind the brand here, where we get to have a nice conversation with you, talk about the history of the wheel company. It transcends when we talk to our clients about it. You know what I mean? So that makes it that whole process becomes intimate, and it carries through to the customer. And then they get to feel that it's reciprocal. And you get to know that, okay, there is real people behind the brand, But the story, man, of it all together, I'm sure AJ would agree, is just pretty awesome to see how that whole story formed of your car journey and where it's at till today. Man, we always wishing you the absolute best, man.
Thank you.
If there's one thing you could say that you would probably give as a piece of advice out there for anyone out there, because now they're all going to look up your brand, the Aero Wheel Company, what have you. But if there's one thing you could tell people about your journey so far, what would it be?
I mean, I never realized how many different challenges are in building the company, and it's not at all the ones that I thought would be challenging, and I probably wouldn't have started it if I knew how much struggle it was, but luckily it comes one piece at a time and one challenge at a time usually, or not more than you can handle. But
there it is. So
you
stay
learn
persistent.
so much.
Stay persistent. You never know what you're going to get hit with. Could be a jab, could be uppercut, but you got to be able to wait, take the licks and make sure you keep on going.
And you have to
through.
modify and alter sometimes
Yeah.
the vision a bit. Because we started out with a forged wheel for the Model S, and then we realized we have to have a bit more volume to be able to design a second wheel also and third wheel.
Well, that's when you realize, okay, cool,
So
this wheel works. If you're moving, it doesn't matter on so much the weight size, because the function of this is very specific. All those things come to mind that you don't probably think of and understand. And I can only imagine what you've been through in your whole process to get where you're at today. So, and with that being, you joined us with your presence today, and I'm sure AJ had good conversation points too.
Big ups, man. Thank you so much as well, because this was a last minute thing. Like we weren't even supposed to be here. Like flew in, caught you while you were in the States, and just seeing you downstairs. Like, hey man, like want to be on the podcast? Like, so I really appreciate you taking the time to come on
and I appreciate
tell us
that
your
you
story.
could set this up so fast and have me here.
Yeah, of course, man. John hit me up yesterday. He's like, yo, I'm hanging with. He sends me a picture of both of you. He's like, yeah, we're doing whiskey cigars, man. I'm like, dude, that's dope. He's like, you guys should definitely have a sit down with him. So I'm glad that you decided. Big shout out to him. As always, Tesla Silicon Valley. We're super stoked for what they've done, obviously, to date. And we're excited to see where you go as a wheel company and beyond. And looking forward to working with you and all of our clients in a future capacity, man. And there you have it.
There it is.
Sweden in the house, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Alex, how can they find out about your wheels, and where can they, be able to order some outside of SS Customs? Because you can pick up a set right here in sunny Redwood City. But if they wanted to get it, they're not here. They're not local. How do they pick up a set of wheels?
Yeah, they can go to thenewaero.com.
The New Aero.
And you can order from anywhere in the world that sells Tesla cars. We have, so the market is the same as the Tesla cars.
There you go.
But you can also buy from SS Customs, of
Uh-huh.
course, if you want to have the tires and the sensors and everything.
Come holla at me. I got you. Come holla at me.
No, talk to me.
In one place.
No, talk
Yeah.
to AJ. No.
I got
And they
you.
have. I just brought some fresh brochures that we printed last week. They're down here. If you come here, you can
Of
have
course.
a look. And
Of
you
course.
have a wheel also in the showroom. Yeah.
Social
So-
media is heavy. Do you have any social media that they can follow?
Yeah.
And watch the process.
The New Aero on Instagram, new_Aero on Twitter, and the New Aero on Facebook also. Yeah.
The New Aero. Yeah. AER.
Yeah, the New Aero on Instagram and
Facebook.
Facebook, yeah. But
Got it.
on Twitter is new_Aero.
There we go.
Maybe it was already taken. I don't remember, but
Well, there we go. Watch
Yeah,
the
man.
progress. Look forward to the new design that's released. Now you said it's finished. It's all good.
Yeah.
So looking forward to seeing that. I
Yeah, man.
appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thank you
Yeah,
very
it's
much,
alright.
man.
Thank you.
Absolutely, brother. And we will be catching you guys later. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Give my man a follow over here and check out his products online. And if you got a Tesla, you need to check it out. Signing off here, Shareef SS Customs.